All right. Welcome back, everyone. This is another beautiful edition of our Married Talk Show. An edition that we have today is actually edition 31. Yeah. Thank you so much for making it a date to join us today. And wherever you're joining from, we would like to give you a shout out. On the show today, I have two wonderful guest speakers who will be dishing out a whole lot of word of wisdom. So sit back, you are in for another right today. And again, we want to give you a shout out. Let us know where you're joining from. Leave a comment in the comment section. And today's show is going to be an interactive one. Our guest speakers on the show will be taking your question. And now back to my guest speakers. I'm going to start from Mr. Omolagba, all the way from Nigeria, West Africa. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show. And for people that don't know Mr. Omolagba, he has been married for more than a decade, going to 2 decades. And he's also a pastor. He works at the Nigerian petroleum company in Nigeria, West Africa. So he's a child of God, and he's actually seasoned. What I mean by seasoned, he is really, really seasoned when it comes to marriage. So he will be helping us today. And in the house also, I have my husband, Dr. Sean. We've been married for 14 years, right? So he's also... We're still babies. Yeah, we're still babies.
Babies indeed.
We're still babies in this journey. He's my best friend, and we are good friends. So we have these two powerful men today that will be helping us. They are well seasoned. They'll be helping us a lot to navigate this institution called marriage. And I pray that sweet Holy Spirit will speak through you both today, that whatever you say, it will not be from your flesh, but it will be life word to people to change lives and to change marriages for good in Jesus' name. Welcome on the show. Before we dive in and I turn over the baton to you, do you have anything you want to say? I'm going to start with Mr. Omolagba. Do you have anything you want to tell our viewers from at home, sir?
Yeah, first thing I want to say good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're listening and watching from. I want to just say to you that you're welcome, just as the host has said. And we want to trust God tonight that so many homes, so many families that are listening, God will use our word. Just like He has said, I will make my mouth like a pen of a ready writer. And we'll be able to dish out things. And we believe that things that looks hard, things that looks unreal, God Almighty will make them work. Because I know the aim of this program is to bring peace to so many homes. And we hope this will be achieved at the end of this program. Thank you and welcome. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful introduction. We really, really appreciate that. And I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Sean before I actually let you both run the show today. Over to you, Dr. Sean. Do you have anything you want to tell our listener at home?
Yeah, I think, as I rightly said earlier, we're still babies in this journey. We're all on this beautiful journey. Marriage is so beautiful. I mean, it is so awesomely beautiful. And as most of our speakers have said for a couple of weeks and maybe months now, it takes a lot of intentionality. You have to be intentional about a lot of things. So I don't want anybody to feel as if they're in an island or to feel they're in the worst space in their life. If in a relationship that needs some assistance here and there are a lot of resources to really help you out. If you feel you're not enjoying your marriage one way or the other, there's support everywhere. And I think that's one of the things we're doing over here to make sure that we all work together, we all enjoy our relationship, and we can all be best version of ourselves moving forward. So thanks so much, everyone. It takes a lot of courage for someone to say, hey, I'm going to join that show and I'm going to listen to what they have to say so that I can be better, or so that my spouse can be better. So thanks so much, everyone, for joining. And hopefully, by the grace of God, we have a good time today.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Omolagba. Thank you so much, Dr. Sean, for that powerful word that you've both spoken today to our viewers at home. And I know that God will help you to speak life into marriages and into homes, and also to help our young adults out there. So we're going to dive in right into the show. And you both are actually guest number 30 on the show. So we've been doing this for a while. And I normally ask my guests 2 questions. And I don't want to take too much of our time today, because you both are going to have 20 to 25 minutes each in total. We're looking at 50 minutes before we round up the show. And it's going to be an interactive section. Our viewers at home, they are going to be sending in that question. So the 2 questions that I'll be asking you, and your answer today is going to be around this. The first one, what do you think marriage is all about? And the second one, I'm going to point that to Mr. Omolagba, if he actually thinks marriage is hard work. And the reason why I brought these 2 powerful men of God is because I want Mr. Omolagba to be talking from the angle of people that live in Africa. What are the challenges that makes marriage difficult and hard work? And Dr. Sean here is going to be talking from the Western world, things that people that live in Africa are not privileged to, that actually causes divorce over here, that makes marriage super hard. So all our answer is going to be around that. And I leave the floor open to our viewers at home. Please keep your question coming. And we have 2 powerful men of God here that will be helping us. Now to you, Dr. Sean, what do you think marriage is all about?
I thought we were starting with the veteran.
So, okay. He's throwing it back at you, sir, because you've been married more.
I don't intend to throw you under the bus.
Okay. Okay, we'll start with what is marriage all about?
Yes, sir.
Well, I want to pick that question, and based on the kind of viewers we may be having, one way or the other, I want to believe that basically everyone that is watching this program may not be of the same faith, but one thing is certain, that everyone, one way or the other, is entitled to marriage. So I want to speak from the perspective of human, and then in the course of speaking here, we'll go a bit spiritual. So marriage is all about coming together of 2 different persons who believes in a common goal and have accepted to live together forever under the same roof or on the same interest, bringing children and enjoying life. Because I believe when you are married, you are entitled to good life. Different from the perspective of every other person who has not had a good marriage, I think when you are married to the glory of God, you have a very, very beautiful and a promising life. So marriage is all about 2 people who have agreed based on what God has promised them, and they want to share that single promise that God is giving to 2 people to be manifested in one unified home. So marriage is just like that, regardless of your faith, is to have a good life and be productive.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful answer and for making it short. So now to Dr. Sean.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put an icing on that cake. Um, that yeah, a man and a woman coming together, um, uh, with this covenant that God has given us, that they both come together and um, be able to uh, fulfill the destiny of God in their lives. Um, and they, for one reason or the other, they saw each other, they decided to come together. And maybe in some cases, they brought people together to be able to be witnesses to their marriage, pretty much saying, I am committed to this person for the rest of my life. I am committed to the other person for the rest of my life. And what the Bible says is that when both of them come together, they become one. So your vision get intertwined with my vision gets intertwined with your vision. I can't think as if I'm living life alone by myself anymore. You cannot think as if you're living life alone by yourself anymore, because that's an easy way for division to come in. So two of us decide to come together, and then some people want to have children, some people don't want to. I mean, it's okay, but God definitely have that option for all of us. But in coming together, the goal is for us to be able to walk that journey of life together, because it is until they do us part, right? So there's no, once we come into it, we want to shut the door of divorce. We want to find a way to work together and be able to fulfill destiny together. Again, marriage is so beautiful, but it takes a lot of hard work.
Wow, that is so powerful. So, I will be asking you another question, and the question I'll be asking is, do you think marriage is hard work? And I don't want to put you both in a box. I want Mr. Omolagba to talk on each areas that makes you feel, sir, that marriage might be hard work. Uh, it can be financial, it can be environmental, it can be the children, it can be the job, it can be economy. And I also want Dr. Sean to talk about if you think marriage is hard work and why you think that is hard work. And I want you to pick the reason why you think it's hard work. And while we're doing this, to the viewers at home, please keep your question coming. We have two powerful men that will be helping us with all our questions today. And please do us a favor to share this show with your loved ones. You might be saving a home, you might be saving a life. This is a wonderful tool and gift you can give to your loved ones and friends and family. So I'm going to start with you, sir, Mr. Omolagba. Or do you think marriage is hard work, sir?
Yeah, I want to believe and say 100% marriage is a hard work.
Hmm.
And let me tell you something. When you work hard, you have every right to have a good rest. When you
Hmm.
work hard, you have every right to get reward for your labor.
Hmm.
Whatsoever you do not labor or work for does not stay longer in your terrain.
Hmm.
Now, let me start like this. Just as you have said, that I'm going to talk from the perspective of Western Nigeria, possibly Africa, believe, and how marriage has affected or what has affected marriage that is different from the Western world. Let me be straight with us. Though we were young some decades back, where we see our parents and we have seen the way marriage was with them. But fast forward to fourth decade now, we have discovered that marriage is literally different from what it used to be with our fathers compared to what it is with us now. Now, let me make my point clear from here. The reason I'm saying so is because the Western world has had a major effect on the African marriage. The Western world has had a major effect on the African marriage. Now, African marriage has been different from the Western marriage, maybe based on our culture and our belief. In the time past, there has been a value of respect. There is this so called, I am not saying fear per se, but there is this so called fear, not the normal fear that we used to see, but this fear, I want to liken it to respect. I want to liken this fear to the fear of God because there is always something, there is a saying that says that you have to respect who you love. If you proclaim if you proclaim to love somebody and there is no respect in that love, then you don't love that person. If you love someone, you respect the person. Now, coming to the point where I said the Western world has had a great effect on the marriage of Africans. Why the marriage in Africa is breaking up faster, trying to meet up with the speed of breakage in the Western world. It is because an average African woman wants to be like the Western world. It is because the education, it is because of the information, it is because of the exposure that the women in Africa are getting themselves into, forgetting that Africa has a history and we have a culture. Now, this is Africa where a wife no longer want to respect their in-law, where a wife will wake up in the morning and tell the mother-in-law of the or the father-in-law, "Hey, how are you? I'm going out. Take care of yourself." This is not the Africa we used to know. This is not the marriage we knew from our parents. And if our parents could survive it, but the education and the orientation that the new set of generations are having now is quite different. And let me tell you, an average African man is a proud man. An average African man is a proud man. An average African man over his marriage is always egoistic. An African man believes more in the word of God than the Western man. Because the word of God has told us that the man is the Lord of the woman. So the man in an African setting expects himself to be the Lord. He doesn't expect that there will be an argument over any comment or over any decision he has made. Forgetting the fact that the man still wants to recognize the opinion of the woman. But the woman wants to tell you in an African setting of new day now that it is 50-50. You have a say, I have a say. It is either 50-50 or nothing. So maybe I'll stop from there and let Doctor put one or two things in it.
I think the point I was trying to make is it is a cultural sorry, it is a generational thing and less of a cultural thing, because I've seen Italian marriages, I've seen American marriages, I've seen Indian marriages going through a similar thing. The generation we have right now, it puts pressure on both men and women. One thing I want us to understand is our ladies are facing more pressure now than our mothers or our grandmother faced in a couple of decades ago. And maybe they are also getting more educated, they're getting more exposed. I mean, now you can have husband and wife having both having PhDs or both having doctorate degree, and they are both exposed. Ladies are going out now doing great businesses, and everybody is super exposed. I tell you a story. There was a friend of mine, they were married in Nigeria, and they came over to United States, and he went to the store for the first time. When they got here, he saw the man pushing the cart with their son in the cart, and the woman was walking behind and trying to pick things in the store. And he called me and he said, "Oh, is this the way you people do in America?" And he literally said it in Yoruba. He said, "Láì ṣe pé wọ́n forí mi gbá pààrọ̀." Pretty much saying, I can't do this. I mean, how will I be pushing cart and my wife will be walking behind? And I said to him that day, I said, except you want to kill your wife, you have to support in every way, not only financially. I know biblically God wants the husband to be the provider, to be the support, to be the shield, to be everything in the house. That's great. But you also need to be able to help your wife to do a lot of house chores as well. You need to be able to take trash out. You need to be able to take kids to school. You need to be able to help do laundry or whatever thing you want to do. I think one thing that we lack in the Western world that is a great blessing in for those back home is the support system. Like, people back home have a very great support for most people, maybe not all, but for most people, they have a very great support system. I mean, you want to go out, you can easily say, "Hey, my neighbor or my aunt or my uncle or something, let me drop this kid with you and I quickly go to where I want to go." Or you just want to have some good time. You have a lot of people to lean on around you. For most people in the Western world, they don't have that. A lot of that support system, and a lot of expectation on them. I mean, I see husband and wife working day and night for a lot of hours. I mean, really drain people out. I think my focus over here is women need a lot of support and love, and the men need a lot of support and love. Once we have two parties that are able to work together and able to support each other, it will be a bliss. But once we have somebody, maybe it's the man or maybe it's the woman, that decide to pull back and feel that that is your responsibility, you have to do it. That is not my thing, it is your thing, you have to do it. Then we begin to have gaps and cracks in the wall. Then gradually it becomes a bigger issue and it can become a mess if not dealt with on time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sean. Thank you so much, Mr. Omolagba. I could see that there are some things that you were trying to hold back when you were trying to get into this topic, if marriage is actually hard work, from the perspective of people that live in Africa and the people that live here in the Western world. I'm going to start with you, Dr. Sean. You took us through the fairy fairy, but you didn't really talk deeper. Can you please shed more light on the things that you think are known here, that are not known in Africa, that can make marriages difficult? And this is going to be beneficial for people that are watching, that are planning to relocate, so that they can have a mental shift. And it's also going to help our mothers out there, so that when they come visiting, they can have a mental shift, that the way things work over there, it doesn't work here. I don't want to put a word into your mouth, but can you please help us at least pick some things, and we'll come back to Mr. Omolagba.
Yeah, I think I can get into something over there. One thing I feel we should all understand is relocating into a different country literally means that person is starting life all over again. Some people they will sell a lot of things before they relocate to Canada, to Europe, or to America, and then they come over to start life afresh, and they have this idea in their head before they come over that, oh, once they get over, life is going to be great. And I've heard it from a lot of people. They just get shocked when they get over and they realize that no, because you think about it this way, you did not grow up in the system. You come into the system, you are trying to understand the system. And as men get uh disorientated a little bit when they are not in the driving seats. Like when they are not leading, men are meant to lead, to champion, to literally hold their family together. When things begin to fall apart, most men just withdraw. Some people take it on as a responsibility and take the charge and really want to go out and find the answer and make sure things are working for their family. But some just withdraw. Every woman needs to understand their man and how their man deals with situation, because human beings are just different, right? Great unique thing that is different over here is, number one, there's no support system. I mean, it's always a big shock for people when they come over here. I mean, in Nigeria, you go down your street, you see your neighbor, you can say, "Hey, Babatunde, how you doing? Hey, yeah, Yabo, how you doing?" I mean, you literally, that social connection is something big that is taken away from you when you come over here. And then there's a heavy financial pressure over here. Bills, everything begin to pile up on you really fast. There's a house bill, there's a utility bill, a phone bill. I mean, everything in Nigeria. If you don't load your phone, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's the way it still works now. If you don't load your phone still rings. Right? People can still call you, people can still connect with you. Here, if you don't load your phone, nothing rings, everything shut down. If you don't pay the water bill, it gets shut down. So there's a lot of financial pressure on people over here. And more so, they're getting a lot of demand from people that thought that their life is already shining. And they're trying to satisfy all those needs. And I talk to people all the time, and you see these people just living under a lot of financial stress. So taking away their social connection and putting them under strong financial pressure in a system that they don't know, because they're trying to understand the system too. And now if you have kids, you're also trying to understand the system. You're teaching your kids. You don't know the system. You're trying to learn it. And you now have kids that you're trying to teach in that system. It is just a lot of pressure for people to hold. Now, when you now put husband and wife in that pressurized system, they now begin to hit each other. Now, in-laws begin to come in, finances begin to come in, a lot of things begin to come in, and two of them start to hit each other. And I've heard a lot of it in London, in Canada, in different countries, and it has even gone to the extent of people killing each other. I mean, we've heard a lot of stories. If you go online, you will hear all these stories of foreigners, immigrants coming into a country, and because they couldn't hold that pressure anymore, they just turned to each other. Wife realizing that they can now go out and maybe do business or make more money or do some type of work. It's just a new system for them. And adaptation is something that really helps them to cope. But if people can adapt really fast and they're not being intentional about it, things begin to go south really fast.
Thank you so much for talking about that. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, I want to talk a bit differently. Before I talk from here, I want to believe that everyone that is on this show, we are all adults. And I want to believe that if we talk, we want to be adults. And because the program is an adult show, and what do I mean by an adult show is that everyone that is expected to be here are married or about to or at the age of marriage. So it means that we are plus or minus more of adults and possibly few younger ones. Now, this is my point. Some of the things that leads to breakage and pressure in marriage in African settings, this new age, please take that word, this new age has more to do with satisfaction. And when I say satisfaction, I want to break it down to few parts. I want to believe you can hear me, Mas and Sir.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you please hear me? Thank you.
Yes, we can.
We can hear
All
you.
right, thank you. So I am saying that satisfaction, I'll break it to two or three. Let me come to two parts, because if I have to break it more, then it will take us more time to explain one after the other.
Hmm.
One of this satisfaction is financial satisfaction,
Hmm.
and the second one is sexual satisfaction.
Hmm.
The thing is that, let me start with financial satisfaction.
Hmm.
When we are looking at the financial aspect of life in the Nigeria or the Africa settings, there are
Hmm.
so many people, so many women, so many men in our own world. When I say our own world, I'm talking about the African world, that wants to live
Hmm.
like the people in the Western world.
Hmm.
Now, hear this. The Bible says, they that compare themselves with themselves are unwise.
Hmm.
But because of social media,
Hmm.
because of technology,
Hmm.
because of the way that we can see the uttermost part of the earth from the corners of our house,
Hmm.
and we have seen a lot of things on the social media, on the internet, it has brought so many anxiety. And everybody wants to be rich. And you want to be like somebody you're seeing in a video. And this is most common in African marriage, especially the women.
Hmm.
Now, let me talk about the sexual satisfaction. The
Hmm.
sexual satisfaction. I was taking a study with few of my friends some weeks or months back. If you look at the internet, especially the Nigerian world, apart from the internet now, if you look at the streets of Nigeria,
Hmm.
you will discover that the most advertised program, the most advertised products, the most advertised drugs, they are sexual enhancements connected.
Hmm.
Now, because when I said earlier that the people in Nigeria have been affected by the Western world, is that an average woman in Nigeria want to have like a Western woman.
Hmm.
An average African is very strong, but because of the financial pressure, because they are no longer financially satisfied, maybe because of the unlimited wants that an
Hmm.
average African man is pursuing, wanting to meet up his marital responsibility like a foreign person, has affected the mentality of an African man and sexually becoming weaker than our forefathers. Now, this is where it affects. The expectation of an African woman is expecting the strong and energetic African man, forgetting that the demands that an African man faces on a daily basis is different from that of our forefathers, which has affected almost all Africa. Now, this is where the people that sells this sexual enhancements gets to profit from. And by the time an average African man is unable to do as expected from an African woman, then there is a problem from that marriage. And you see them coming publicly. Now, let me just digress a bit. I tell you a small story.
Hmm.
There is this wedding that is so in the, I think it happened about last month, where a
Hmm.
young couple got married and they divorced in less than 24 hours.
Hmm.
What is the cause?
Hmm.
We have a young, energetic man who is sound sexually, and we have a lady who is weak. And contrary to what that lady used to believe, that men they are weak and so but she has found a man that is stronger than what she expected. And they both agreed mutually that they are going to divorce. You can see the effect of what sex has had in their marriage. And we have seen otherwise, whereby you will discover that a lady will tell a man, especially what we see these days in Africa, that you are not strong enough, you cannot satisfy me, you can't be this, you can't be that. And which has resulted in a lot of people getting into drug abuse. Because you want to satisfy a woman, you have to go extra mile. So this, I will come back to the saying that the effect of the Western world is more, and it has affected the African marriage more. And let me close with this, not closing, but let me finish this particular statement with this. Most of the things that we eat now are the Western world, which has reduced the energy of an African man compared to the natural things we used to eat that makes the Africans African. So there is this effect in different ways on an African marriage. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Do you want to say anything on that?
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah.
Sean?
I definitely have a comment on that. I think those are very good points. I want the focus here is, at least maybe everybody over here is married or planning to be married. I want us to know that it takes whatever thing might be happening culturally, um, uh, generationally, whatever thing might be happening. There are a lot of external factors influencing our marriages, right? I want everybody to believe that we all should be in guard of our marriage. If both husband and wife come together and they say we are both in agreement that this institution that God has placed us, or that we have chosen to walk into together under God, will stand. Now, you will always offend me. I will always offend you one way or the other, because again, we were not brought up the same way. There will be some things that I have been doing for 20 something years that I thought are normal. But you come into my life and you be like, whoa, that is strange. You definitely want to change it this way. Now, if we are married and you don't rub up on me, then shame on me. If we're married and I don't rub up on you, then shame on you. So one way or the other, you have to make me a better person and I have to make you a better person. We all need to aspire to be better in our journey together, right? That's one. And again, as we work together, you must be willing to change. And I must be willing to change. I need to understand that you are not my enemy, and you need to understand that I am not your enemy. Now, there will be some things that we need to walk through in life, because there are a lot of forces out there, financially, sexually, as you just said, spiritually. I mean, physically, there are a lot of forces out there that are acting against us. But if we can work together and we're both willing to change one way or the other, if I know that my change is to make this family better, and you also know that your change is to make this family better, then it will be easier for us to work together. But if I'm stuck in my way, and I'll be like, this is the way I've been doing it before I got married to you, and that's the way I will continue to do it, that's problem. And if you are saying, no, that's the way I've been handling it before I got married to you, you can't come into my life and change me now, that is problem right there. We need to be able to sit down, have some good adult conversation on how to make things better. I might think I'm the best person in handling money before you got married to me. But if you come into my life and you are teaching me a better way of handling money, then I should be able to listen. So I think my point over here is, yes, we have a lot of cultural and a lot of social. I mean, internet has made everything, global now. Everything is a global village now. A couple of years ago, what is going on in America is hidden from people in Nigeria because they're not. But now, all you need to do is have data on your phone and go on the internet. You see everything, right? So we are all exposed to a lot of things all over the world. But in the middle of this whole thing, I think it is our responsibility as the two adults in that relationship to find a way to align. And it takes a lot of intentionality to align. It takes a lot of forgiveness to align. It takes a lot of owning up to our responsibility to align. We just must be able to find a way to align so that we can continue to move this train forward. If we're stuck in our way, that train will definitely remain stagnant and things will go south easily again.
That's powerful. I think you want to say something, sir. You can go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Let me just add this little thing, and I feel it will help our listeners, our viewers. I want to take myself as a case study. There was some time I had a serious issue in my marriage. This issue was looking like this was going to be an end. At a point, I summoned the courage and I told my wife, I spoke to her, I said, listen, we coming together only had an opening. It doesn't have an exit. Listen and listen good. We coming together has only one way, and that way is called entrance, no exit. Whatsoever you want to do, I don't know how you want to do it. If you are going to remain like this, and I am going to remain like this, listen and listen good, then we'll remain like this forever. You go nowhere, I go nowhere. We are together in this, stuck in it. So if we don't want to remain in this level, knowing fully well that there is no way out, then there is only one way. We have to change. So you change, I change, for us to be at peace. If not, if you like, continue like this forever. Divorce does not exist in my dictionary. Divorce is not even about it. Don't even bring it to the table. Don't talk about it. Let us fight. We go fight and tire. Now here, two of us go there. And she knew that I was not ready to let go. So there is nowhere she's going. You no go anywhere. I no go anywhere. Let us continue. One way or the other, either of us are going to get tired. And then we will succumb. So she thought about it. Things that needed to be changed. And to the glory of God today, we are living better. And we can still be better than this. So I want to use this word for everyone that is getting into marriage. The bad orientation they have always had, that come when we get married and it's not working. I'm not talking about abusive marriage here. I'm not talking about marriage that is having violence here. No, those are exceptional marriages. But when it comes to you are not doing it right, I'm not doing it right, you are the one that is stubborn, I'm the one that is this, that is that. If it has not gotten to the level of the physical abuse, listen, my viewers, there is no way out. If you make your partner to realize and be intentional about it, that listen, I am glued to you, just like the Yoruba word will say, is not that we ati lepo, ati ropo. It is an inseparable word. That is it. Thank you.
Yeah. I think though that's really powerful. And one thing I want to add to that will be helpful for all of us is there's no way you will get married to someone that there will not be some form of issue here and there, one way or the other.
Definitely, there will be issues.
even if you get married to yourself, there's no way you will get married to somebody and you will not feel some changes here and there, one way or the other. Now, one thing we all have to do, I mean, going back to the point before I go to what I want to say, going back to the point you made earlier, so that there's only one door leading into the marriage and there's no exit. Now, if we both understand that that is the situation we have put ourselves, then we have to find a way to make the other person happy. If I bring you into a relationship that I know that there's only one way in, there's no other way out, then I have to seek your happiness. Then if you have the same thoughts about me too, then you have to seek my happiness. Now let's come practical a little bit. Yeah, let's be practical a little bit. We got married. How do we seek each other happiness? I feel there's something at some point that brought the two people together and said, out of all the ladies I'm seeing out there, you're the best. And I'm going to live my life with you. And there's something that made you to say, out of all the girls out there, you are the best, and I'm going to live my life with you. I think we all have to find a way to go back to that center, to go back to that core and say, something has changed in my wife. And maybe we'll sit down together and we have that conversation and say, okay, I know we have some issues over here. Let's find a way to deal with it. What exactly do you want? Everybody, when you ask them that question, they will be able to pour out. And when we're pouring this thing out, we don't want to pour it out like in fiving, right? So at times, some people do it in writing. Just write me the first 5 things or 3 things of things you want me to change. And then I will write you the first 3 things I want you to change. It's as if we're writing a letter to each other, right? And then when you go read that letter, I mean, we used to do it maybe 5 years ago or something, a long time ago. When we exchange that letter, then you read it like, oh, this is exactly what she's talking about. And then you go think about it, and you want to read that kind of letter with the intention to get better. Right? When you have the intention to make your home better, and 2 of them can outserve each other, I think it will help us out to make each other happy, seek each other's way of getting better. It will help us out to be a better couple rather than just looking at we're in and there's no way out for us and we have to keep struggling over here. We don't want to be in that situation and keep struggling. We want to be in that situation and be better. The husband needs to have a mind of, I want to be better so that you can be happy. And the wife also needs to have a situation, a mindset of, I want to be better so that you can be happy. So it takes 2 to fight and it takes 2 to be happy. So for a marriage to work, it takes 2 of them need to be able to work together. So it just takes the 2 to work together. And when the other party doesn't want to work, I think we find ourselves in that situation a lot where you think, I'm the only one putting effort over here. The other person doesn't want to put in effort. We have to find a way to be patient and work with that other person until we get them to the table where they really want to work together for the whole family to be better.
Wow, that is powerful.
Oh, yeah. Please, can you when Doctor was talking, something came to my mind. Doctor, thank you so much because tonight you made me to remember my mom, my late mother. Thank you so much. And I am gonna say something. The effect of parents on their children when they are growing up matters a lot. So I am proud of this, and I'm going to say it. I am from Akure, so I am going to speak this language exact way that my mom told me. Then I will try to interpret it. My mom will tell me something then, her blessed memory. You said, "Ogun ọdún kèèyàn ti lómiyé, èèyàn láyà." I hope somebody understands that language. Ogun ọdún kèèyàn ti lómiyé, èèyàn láyà. What does that mean? For 20 years, you have had your siblings. You never had a wife. So never mistake your wife as your sibling. You grill with your sibling, you know them in and out. You're meeting a stranger you know nothing about. Listen, your wife is not your sister. Your wife is your wife. Don't treat her like your sister. Treat her like your wife. My sister can be stupid. I can give her a slap. She will come back. But I can't do that to my wife. So I'll say it to all Africans that come from my root here. Ogun ọdún kẹyàn ti lómiye, èèyàn láyà. Thank you.
And sorry, that's a very brilliant point. One thing I have seen, because what you brought in now is the dynamic of in-laws and the way we treat our spouses, and I've seen it cause a lot of issue. I think every man should be able to defend their wife from their family.
Sure, definitely.
How about every
Defending your wife is as good as defending yourself.
Correct. It's also the same way the other side. It's also the same way. The way every woman, let me make the statement so that I'm balanced. Every woman at the same time should be able to defend their husband from their family. And again, this is not an African thing. It's a global thing, right? So if there's an issue between both of you, you find a way to deal with it in-house, right? You don't run to the family and begin to your extended family, your brothers and sisters that you grew up with, or your parents, and begin to beat down your wife or beat down your husband or beat that can create a lot of problems that will take you years to fix. And you don't want to walk down that path. You saw somebody, you love the person so much, and you want to journey life with that person. I would say protect that person. Like, do not let your brothers or your sisters or your parents now beat down your wife or beat down your husband and make them feel less of themselves. No, this person has a lot of gold and a lot of potential in them. It is your responsibility as the man to help nurture this thing grow. Even when it's not growing as you think or as she thinks it should be growing, it is your responsibility to be able to help them see that you can be better. When we were courting or when we were dating, you said you want to do it, this and this and this. Why are you not doing it anymore? What do you think is the problem? And you want to help the person to grow. So you need to be able to support the person to grow. Anybody will appreciate the person that is helping them to grow. Anybody, no matter how good or bad it is, if there's a man and he has a wife and the wife is beating him down all the time, he will turn around and not love the wife as much as possible. But if the wife is supporting him to grow, or if the woman has a shop and the husband is like, so how much did you make today? How can we be better in this shop? What can we sell that we can be better? What can we do? The wife will gravitate towards the husband and then begin to tell you stories and all of that. I think we all want to find a way to go back to the gisting time. Everybody in Nigeria, remember when we have Ezra Cool, MTN. I mean, you grab the phone, you talk throughout the night. There's always something to talk about. I mean, we just keep laughing, we just keep gisting, and we just keep. Now I know life happens, kids happen, pressure, finances, and all of that. But we want to be able to carve out that time so that we can love on each other. Because it is a journey of life. It is not journey from Lagos to Ibadan and I'm out of the car. No. I mean, it's not a short-term journey, it's a journey of life. And we all want to have a lot of patience with each other. There was a program we went for, and the couple that sat beside us have been married for, 40-something years. And I asked the man, what's the secret? And the man said, actually, I asked the woman, and the woman said, you should be, these are white couples, actually, these are American. And the woman said, oh, you should be asking my husband. And I leaned over and I asked the husband, and the husband said, a lot of patience. And I think we all need it. Like, just a lot of patience. We're each other's friends, and we just want to help each other to thrive and live the best life possible.
Yeah, thank you so much. We have like 4 or 5 questions. and we're already on the 1 hour mark. I'm going to join 2 or 3 questions, and I want you to. I'll start with Mr. Omolagba to answer this question in a short and a very concise way. So the first one is from Mrs. Victoria. She said, how do you handle a mother-in-law that accuses you all the time for no reasons? Then there's another one from Mrs. Omotolashe. Should a married person have a close no, let me take this one because this second one is related to in-law. How can the dynamics of our in-laws actually affect the smooth relationship of the couple? So let's match the 2 questions together and we'll answer that. Then we have one from Tolu Alashe. He sent in almost 40 minutes ago, which I want us to answer. So we're already on 1 hour mark, but we have to answer this quickly so that we can end the show. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. I will be very brief on this. It is the way you have presented your partner that makes the in-laws influence have a major effect on that marriage. If any marriage is going to work, there must be accusations. What do I mean by accusations? I will use myself as a case study. I know a big part of my family believes that my wife controls me. That is the perspective. I am a very stubborn person. My wife cannot control me. I know that within me. But I have made my family to realize that my wife controls me. Now, at this point, I must be sincere with you that most of my family members talks more to my wife than myself. You can imagine my sister, you can imagine my brother wanting to take things from me. They have to speak to my wife simply because they believe that my wife has my control. Now, this is where I'm going. If there is this notion that your wife or your husband has your key, the in-laws will not have a direct penetration in your family. How do the in-law have direct penetration to your family? It is because they have seen a loophole. Maybe one way or the other, you have talked down on your partner. One way or the other, you have healed talked about your partner, and from there the families will come in. But if they know that there is no loophole, that no matter what they tell you, it looks like as they have told you is the same way you have told your wife. Listen, my wife knows that I respect my family. My wife will never say anything about my family without me reacting. But listen, my family still believes that my wife is all in all. How do I manage to do that? Because I know it is just one way in, there is no way out.
Let me chip in something in that, which is very brilliant. That's a very brilliant point. You don't want to create a crack between you and your wife when it comes to in-law. Now, one thing is that every mother is attached to their sons.
Definitely, yes.
You can't take that away. If
At
you're coming
all.
into a family and you're getting married to a man, which was once a boy and once had a mother or still has a mother, just know that there's a good relationship in most cases between every mother and their sons. It's the same thing that goes with every man and their daughters. So when you're coming in as a man into a family getting married, you better hold your father-in-law very well because you know that there's a good relationship between him and that woman you're getting married to. You treat both parents really great, but you want to get really close to your father-in-law as a man, like really, really close to your father-in-law. The same thing for the ladies too. You should know that there's a good relationship.
Oh, network again? Oh. Is this from our end or from the western end?
Okay, we're back.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
No,
Yeah,
I
good.
really need to make that point. I think I really need to get that point out. Now, it is every man's responsibility to smoothen the relationship between their wife and their mother. One way or the other, you need to, every man need to find a way. If your husband is not doing that, every woman need to sit their man down and say, I like Mama. Mama is really great. Is this in the praise your mother-in-law? Let your husband know that I love this woman. I mean, but these are the things I want you to do for me. If you're going to see your mother-in-law, never go empty-handed. If you see your mother-in-law, kneel down and hug her and really love on her. If that relationship has gone south, for you to enjoy your marriage, you need to find every way possible to rebuild that relationship. Call your husband and say, I love Mama, I want this, I want that, I want this for her. In short, you should be the one pushing your husband. Let's go visit Mama. Let's call her this weekend. Let's do this for her. If Mama needs something, try to sacrifice for her. If your husband sees that you love his mom, he will go extra way for you. Because what he wants is he just needs somebody that will love his mother as much as he loves his mother. There's no man that his heart will not soften when he realizes that his wife loves his mother. Every man wants their wife to love their mother. Now, I know that there are some mother-in-laws that are very tough.
Especially the African mother-in-laws.
Especially because their expectation is all over the roof. So their expectation is really out, but you want to try as a wife to find a way to really smoothen that relationship. And in most cases, your husband is the one that can help to do that. And you want to hold him in your room or in your private room to help you through that relationship. If that relationship is not solved, you can continue to have a problem, and we don't want that for anybody.
And that can cause a crack in the marriage.
It can cause a big crack in the marriage.
Okay.
We don't
a
want
big
that.
one, a big one.
Yeah, we're going to take this question and we'll wrap up the show. So I'm going to match two questions. So from Ifeoluwa, his question is, if a parent neglect their responsibility on a child and God help the child to become successful in the future and he decided not to forgive the parents and neglect them, do you think this is the same? And there is another one from Mrs. Omotolashe, and we'll have to round it up there. She was talking about, hold on, should a married person have a close friend of opposite sex? So that's all for today.
Can I go first so that the veterans in the house can round it up? Yeah.
All right, doctor.
The first one saying the parent neglects the child and then the child becomes successful in life and then the child is holding back. That is a sin. I'll say yes. It is a sin. You want to forgive. That unforgiveness will become a big problem in your heart moving forward in life. The way I want you to see it is this. Now, maybe you've heard the story of cup half empty and cup half full. It depends on the way you see something. I can write a 6 over here. If you're looking at it like this, you'll be seeing a 6. The person looking at it turned the other way, that will be seeing a 9, right? I want you to see it this way. God allowed you to walk through the path you walk through in life to make you who you are now. So if you say you are successful now, so that means God took that man away for whatever reason. He might not even know why God make him to pull backward, so that he can make you journey that path and he can make you a better person. Let's take the life of Joseph, for example. Joseph walked through a very rough path in life, went through the pit and then became a prisoner and all of that, because God was preparing him for something, not because his father was intentionally out of his life. His father cried and all of that, but God wanted him to journey through that process so that he can become a better person. So I will say, please forgive the man or the woman. If God is laying something in your heart to do for your parent, do it for your parents. Don't hold this sin against them. Forgive. If you forgive, it is for your sake and not for their sake. because God has blessed you if you say you are successful at the end of the day. So that's one part. Now, the second part is, should a man be, should someone be in a relationship with the opposite sex, opposite gender? I will say there's a Yoruba saying that say, whatever thing you're not going to eat, they don't smell it. When you find yourself in a, I mean, you can have female colleagues and all of that, but you don't want to have female friend that you're gisting with all the time and you're laughing with all the time and you're always running to tell the problem in your family and you become so comfortable with, you're walking at the edge of something if you're doing that. One way or the other, it's going to happen. And when it happens, it's gonna become a big problem in your family. So I would say every man is okay to have friends and colleagues and all of that, but you don't want to create, she's my best friend, she's the one I gist with, she's the only one that understands me. When you are married, please do not do that. The same thing for women too. You can have a male colleague and a male business partner and a male, we do business together, all of that, but talking about friend, he's my gist partner and he's my, no, don't do that. You're walking at the edge of something is going to click at some point. It's going to lead both of you down a very nasty road. You don't want to do that.
All right, so Mr. Omolagba, before we round up.
All right, thank you so much, doctor. You have actually hit everything on the nail. Yeah, I want to say a yes for me. For the first question, is it a sin for a child not to forgive his parent or her parents after a successful life? Yes, I go along with doctor. Yes is yes. Is it a sin? Yes. First thing first is that we have had people without parents that has been successful. So if God is making you successful, it is never with the power of your parents. You have forgotten that we have seen people that have parental background, that have parental support, and they were never successful. So being successful in life, fine, parental support goes a long way, but God is the ultimate. So if you are successful now and you think your parents have neglected their responsibility one way or the other in the line of progress, and now you are so successful, you don't want to forgive them, and because you are so influential, you are neglecting them. Listen, don't forget, if there is anyone like that that is listening to me, you are making a wrong and a big mistake. If you don't forgive your parents, listen, you will end up in hell. See, I am not going to mince word. No matter how successful you are, if you do not forget your parents for whatsoever mistakes they have made in the past, you will end this life regrettably. So leave that. I stand to be corrected anywhere, maybe because of my belief or background. But that is the point, and that is what God has ordained us to do. Forgive your parents, no matter what they have done to you. See it that God has used that disappointment to lift you. And the second question, that can you have an opposite sex closer to you than your spouse? No. No. If you have someone closer to you than your spouse, just as doctor said, you can have friends, you can have colleagues, you can have people, but not as close or closer to you than your wife or your husband. Because something will happen one day. Possibly there is no perfect marriage. You will have an issue in your marriage. You want to lean on someone. Before you realize it, one way or the other, you are gone. And by the time you sleep in it and it causes a big problem in the house, everybody will run helter skelter. If you're not careful, that marriage can break from there. Thank you so much.
I have a last word for everybody. And my last word is, if you're a husband here, please, let's appreciate our wives. If you're a wife, please, let's appreciate our husband. Both parties are working extremely hard, even when you can't see it. I mean, you have to be sensitive to even see it. Life itself is hard. regardless of where you are in the world, life itself is challenging. For women, taking care of kids, getting them ready, making food for them, thinking about what they're gonna eat in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, and how they're gonna buy Christmas clothes, and it's a lot of mental work. So please, as men, let's try to appreciate our wives, and as wives
Hmm.
too, let's really, really try to appreciate our husband. By appreciating one another, we can we can make things better in some instances. And then everybody wants to be seen, everybody wants to be appreciated. So please, let's do it. It's going to help us out a lot. Thank you.
All right,
All
sir.
right. My
The
my
final
last
word.
word.
Mhm.
My last word before I go, Princess, please give me this.
Yeah.
Just as Doctor has said, thank you, Doctor, for making me and giving me this opportunity to be able to do this.
Mhm.
Every man appreciates your wife. Every woman appreciates. I'm using this opportunity. Everyone that is watching me around the world, anywhere my wife is right now, I want to use this medium to just tell her, I think I love you more than anybody on this
There
earth.
you
Nothing, nothing take your place.
go.
Seriously, I love her. She doesn't know how much I do, but I'm saying it to the
Good.
world now repeatedly that I love that woman. She's a very stubborn
Good.
person, but I love her seriously. Thank you.
Yes, I disagree with that. I disagree. Cosme is she's a perfect one.
Okay. Oh,
Cosby, I
seriously.
hope you're hearing this. You will give him
Yeah,
your
thank you.
power on the show. Mhm. Your darling husband, my big brother. He loves you so much.
Yeah, sure,
Thank
sure.
you so much. Thank you so
I'm doing this so that it will be a memorial for her. And each time
Ah,
she's denying, maybe she's arguing, she just come back to the YouTube or Facebook and come and replay this particular edition of, and she knows that I've said it to the world before that I love Adinka so much, and nothing can take that away from her.
thank you
Thank
so much.
you. All
God
right,
bless you.
wow.
Yeah, there was
God
one
bless.
powerful question that came in, but unfortunately the time is far, far gone. Uh, Mrs. Awoyinka, I will talk to our guests, speakers, and they will answer your question, and I will personally uh, directly message you. We'll get to this question. I believe it's much more deeper, and I'll work with you to talk to our marriage counselors who has been on this show before to see how we can work with you to resolve things. We want peace in your home. We want peace in your marriage, and that's the main reason for this. That's the main goal for this show. So please, Ma, I will get back to you. We will answer your question and we'll put you on the training to talk to experts if we have to do so to resolve things. To our two wonderful guest speakers, thank you so much for taking out of
Thank
your
you. So,
busy schedule to
thank
be
you
here
so much.
today.
Thank you so
We
much.
really, really appreciate you, even though the notice was very, very short. But you took out of your busy schedule to make it a date with us today. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Omolagba, for
Thank
loving my
you.
company a day in Adeshina. Now, Mrs. Omolagba,
Yeah,
loving us so
yeah,
much for
I
taking good
do.
care of us and the kids. We really, really love you, sir, and we
We love
appreciate
you
you.
too.
And my
We
prayer,
appreciate your family too.
God in His infinite mercy will continue to uphold your home, uphold your marriage, uphold your business, uphold everything that concerns you in the mighty name of
Amen.
Jesus. Amen. And to Dr.
Amen.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity for sharing your wife with the word to do these things. Even though I know it's not really convenient at times, after church, I just leave you guys deal with yourself. I have to do the show. I pray that God will continue to uphold our marriage and bless us and keep us together.
Amen.
So
Amen. Amen.
everyone that made it a day today to join us on this wonderful show. Thank you so much for joining this show. We only have two goals. Our goal is to help the married couples to remain married and to help the young adults out there to choose right. So if you know anyone, your family, friends that this particular video might be useful to, please try to share it. You might be saving a life doing this. And I really, really appreciate you for joining us today. And until next week, when I come your way, it's still your girl, Cecilia Ho. And thank you so much for joining me today. I love you so much. And I'll see you next week. Bye for now. Thank you.